Yo, yo, yo! Live here around the Comiverse, episode 36.
Hello,
With your
guys.
boys, Crypto Rain, Dr. Stuff, and the real Randy Chavez. Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
What's up? What's up, guys? What's happening?
What's up,
Howdy,
Jimmy?
y'all.
Yeah.
How y'all doing today?
Doing so well. Doing so well today.
Oh, yes. Me
Good.
too, me too.
Awesome.
Hi. We have quite a bit of news to go over.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of news today between BitBoy and Cryptoys and the pencil drops that we just got, the Hulk drop speculation, and Avengers, and then other stuff as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Where should we start? Do you guys want to start talking the controversy until more people get into it? The Ben?
Yeah.
The Big Ben? I actually like BitBoy Crypto. He's the reason I got into Omi. So if it wasn't
He's
for
very
him,
entertaining.
yeah,
He's the
entertaining.
wait. So do share this story. He's the reason he got into Omi. I want to hear that.
Yeah. So BitBoy Crypto was he was talking about Veve and Ecomi on his channel just before the big bull run, like before the Omi run, I should say, before the Omi run. It was sort of, I think Omi was sitting at 0003, or it was just starting to blast off, and Ben did a video on it. And he did say, he warned everyone, said, look, it's sort of going up a lot now. I would wait till it comes back down. He did give everyone a warning, which is cool. I don't know if he was paid to do the video, but it was really cool, and that's how I found out about it. I was like, oh, what's this Omi thing? And I looked more into Omi, and I found Veve, and I really I bought Omi at like 007, so it just come off that peak, it just come off that 1.3 cents, and then I bought it like all the way down. And if it wasn't for BitBoy Crypto, yeah. And so you guys heard, like, it seems like he's potentially had some sort of substance abuse problem, which he's talked about in the past, right? He was sober for many years, and so, but then he's written a post. I'm not sure is that on Telegram or on Twitter, saying that his company's being cooped by TJ and somebody. So I don't know.
Business partners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The question is it for good reason? And that we don't know. Right. So whenever you have two business partners and say you each have a third, or say the other people combined have 51%, they can always vote you out, which is the downside of having business partners. So what are the reasons behind it? I don't know. The speculation is maybe substance abuse. That's just speculation, though. I can't say I know. But he did do a good job making it about other things so that he could step away.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, didn't he also do he got hacked, right? Did he get hacked, and a whole bunch of people lost a bunch of crypto? So I don't know if maybe he didn't get hacked, and maybe it was actually drug money or something. I don't know. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Was there a tweet from the Bencoin token saying that it was like an attack, and saying like, oh, they can't erase me, so they have to kick me out of my own company or something like that?
Yeah. He says, this is Ben, TJ Shed, and Justin Williams have attempted a coup at my company. Just confirming what's going around. It's true there have been a mutiny at BitBoy Crypto and Hit Network, but it won't work. They have no leverage. Until they can clone me, I have nothing to worry about. So, I don't know. It's crazy.
Speaking of Bit, so I think I can't prove this. I'm just pretty sure it happened. One of the bad Omi boys from back in the day, I'm pretty sure he had leaked it to Logan Paul. He had leaked it to like BitBoy and Ecomi. Like, he had leaked it to people that he brought attention to it and paid people to talk about it, just to use people as exit liquidity. Can I prove that? No. Does it make sense? Yeah. So that's just my theory.
Yeah.
BitBoy did take a lot of sponsored videos that seemed to be undisclosed sponsored back during that time. Was Omi one of them from a private party? Could be.
I'm almost positive. Almost.
Yeah.
More than likely. Dr. Stuff, what's your take on all this?
Sorry, I was buying pencils.
Yeah, nice, nice. You watch Big Boy?
I have in the past. I just there was some good entertainment value early on for me, but like I never took it for like investment advice or like not that you should take anything as financial advice, right? But like and as we saw just over time, and he's come clean about it, that like probably didn't have the best practices when things were the wild west of just like projects paying him in tokens and showing this project, and then it's a price went up, him dumping those tokens and stuff. So I just didn't ever have like a lot of respect for the guy, to be honest. And so I don't really, my time is limited, and I tried to spend it with people that I care about and things that I care about. And so yeah, like I watched some, but I feel like there's a lot of other smaller channels with people actually doing the work, and really making some awesome calls that I kind of look at. And so, look, it's sad. I don't like to see anyone fail, to be honest. And if this guy's got some demons, or some substance abuse or things that he's really battling through, I wish him the best. But for me, it was never someone that I recommended people watch or that I really watched myself.
No worries. Well, should we move on to the pencils then?
I have one more statement on that.
Yeah,
I
sure.
did tell people, I was like, whenever BitBoy says, oh yes, I'm definitely buying this, whatever he says, I am definitely not buying. Because a lot of people watch him because the entertainment value, and I get that. He's a good talker, he's pleasant, he's enjoyable, makes time pass quickly. Is he good at crypto investing? I haven't seen evidence that he is. I've seen a lot of evidence to the contrary.
We lost your microphone.
Oh, did
I
you?
hear him.
You guys hear him?
I can hear him.
Yeah, I can hear him.
So I've seen evidence to the
Ooh,
contrary. I
I can't hear
haven't
you
seen
guys.
evidence that he's actually a good investor, and so that's why I'm in the crypto space. So it just didn't align well to watch his channel much, other than sometimes for news, and sometimes he covered some new stuff about Gary Gensler and the SEC or Sam Bankman-Fried that was extremely relevant, and I appreciate that he did that. But for like, oh, what cryptos should I think about? Yeah, not that channel.
No
Can you
sound.
hear us now?
So you guys are all good? Because I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah,
I guess he cannot hear us.
Jordan, can you hear us?
I think it's
He-
something to do with StreamYard.
He cannot hear
I
us.
can
So,
hear you guys like the tiniest amount. And I can see you like saying you can hear.
Well,
that's
so weird.
interesting. It may
We
have
will
changed
carry
your
this show.
speaker to something else.
I changed my output to my headphones. It still couldn't hear you guys. Hello.
well, we will carry this show. The one thing that I remember back in, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, it didn't matter what you bought on Veve. Everything would be above retail. And now there are certain things that you think, okay, this is definitely going to be, and there are. So like when you have, let's say, that Hulk that just came out, because that was the scarcest one to date. And then you have Avengers #1. The Grail is coming out on Thursday. This is a top 10 Grail comic. This seems like one of those things where everything will be above retail, even though there's 10,000 editions, there's $20 each. It is a Grail comic. Are you guys familiar with the comic or Avengers at large?
Yeah, definitely familiar with the comic. I think like, what is it? A 9.8 sold in 2021 for like 300 grand or a little over 300 grand.
9.6. I know sold in 2018 for 196. There might have been another one that had sold after that, but the 9.8s there are none for this one.
Oh, that's weird. Then there might be some false news. Is when I looked at. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up because, I googled it. Right. Let's see. That's interesting. Yeah. So it says there was 9.6 sold for 369,000 back in September of 2021.
Oh, okay. All right. The last one I have is 2018. Okay, so that's even more bullish. I was going off the one from 2018 that sold for 196, but you say what it sold for 340?
369. Nice.
Everyone comment
Nice.
369.
So I can hear you guys now. I have to use my headphones. for
There we
speakers.
go. That is
My
crazy.
speakers have like died. My speakers were going in and out and in and out. So it wasn't StreamYard. It was my speakers. They're really, really old and they just like stopped working.
It died. Damn.
Live on stream, of course.
So if that happened in 2021, 2 years later, I would say a 9.6 now, because there's only 4 sales then. There's only 5 of those comics, 4 of them, 4 sales in like the last 10 years. I would say the 9.6 now would go for over 400. 420 would be pretty legit.
Yeah, 420. I feel like you did that on purpose.
Well, if it's 369, then the next logical step is 420.
That would be good. Please.
Bill is saying that CGC only shows 2018. So, like, look, this might be incorrect. I mean, this is from qualitycomics.com. So, like I don't know, right? Like that might be incorrect. I would trust the CGC data before some website. I have not paid the Collect fee to actually get that. So, but look, I mean, regardless, and to your point, Randy, I think this is what we have seen is a pretty significant jump in the value of some of these comics that haven't been sold recently. And then there is a recent purchase, and there's a pretty significant bump or jump from the all-time high to like the new all-time high, right? Yeah. So like I'm bullish on it. I mean, obviously, I think they're kind of done with just like Avengers and movies in general. I think that there might be some combination of Avengers and others together, but where it's like Avengers and like the story of just the Avengers. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but look, I think that a lot of kids that are growing up now, then just Avengers are a big part of their life, and I think that nostalgic value down the line will be pretty massive. So I'm definitely going for it, and I'll definitely buy some.
Yeah,
secondary, depending on.
And they got a couple of more movies left, and they're the biggest ones. They'll use these movies as like a soft reboot for the company. Secret War. If you thought Infinity War and Endgame had a lot of people in it, Secret Wars has even more. It doesn't matter if they are in the story. If they had, let's say they're written out of it. They'll come back. Even in like Deadpool 3, like Jennifer Gardner's coming back as Elektra from the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Ben Affleck's coming back as that version of Daredevil. So all of this multiverse stuff is all of the people from all the different multiverses form into this one universe on this one planet called Battle World, ruled by Doctor Doom. And it's such an amazing story. 100% worth it. Huh?
Is that a comic, Randy?
Yeah,
that's from the comics.
Yeah,
you've read them. You've read them all, or what?
Yes, and all the tie-ins, and they're beautiful.
Don't tell me. No spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers. Dumbledore dies.
I'm waiting for the movie. I'm waiting for the movies. Like I really like the comics though, but I haven't got that far into. What was that? Randy?
It has been fun to watch the movies, not knowing the comics, and kind of like seeing the story for the first time because I don't already know the answer because I haven't read the comics.
Yeah, same for me. I'm only reading some of the older comics now, so that's sort of the older storylines. So it's good. I was going to say, do you guys want to see the Quest 3 unboxing? It's a Meta Quest 3 unboxing. It's a leaked video that this person always goes to like these hotels and just has like the latest tech and just leaves them there for people to find and like do videos on. It's a bit random.
All right, Randy's going to start tracking the guy down and following him.
Yeah, it's like I think it must be set up or something. I don't know if Meta want everyone to see it already, but here we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
It should be play.
All right. First of all, as you can see, the box is very small compared to the one.
Sorry, now it's playing loudly through my speakers, which are now apparently working.
Is this gonna like monetize you or something like that?
Probably not if we just do a little bit.
Meta Quest 2, and it's a very easy packaging. Of course, this is the internal box. We didn't see its sleeve yet, but probably they're going to feature some new games, apps, and of course, a new graphic. They're still using recycled material here, and I freaking love it.
Looks awesome.
But back to the headset. That is the most important part, right? And here we are with the Quest 3 in all its glory, with the 2 ringless controllers. First thing that comes to my mind, and I noticed looking at this, is of course the small size, for sure reflected inside of the box as well, and that is thanks to the new lenses technology.
I think it's 60%.
Hopefully we'll get the size of it later. Also the fact that the Oculus logo is completely gone now, replaced by the Meta One, as you can see on the right controller. Once again, RIP Oculus, and the fact that it will ship with a soft strap, like it happens with the Quest 2. Now, this will be removable and replaceable, like it happened with the Quest 2. We already saw some pictures of the headset with a different strap, but we'll have to see how comfortable this is gonna end to be. At the end of the day, it will sit closer to your face, so the balance should be better, even if the hardware is still all on the front. As you can see, the design of the strap is a little different though from the one on the Meta Quest 2, where the top actually splits in two parts, apparently getting a better grip on the back of your head, and also, I think, to accommodate curls, ponytails, and such. It's a nice touch there. And
you guys going to buy Quest 3?
Better over here. So you're going to be able to open it as much as you need. Also, another little detail that we can barely see for a split second is the QR code in there, probably with instructions how to do the first setup and register your device. I tried my best to have it recognized with my phone, but I actually failed at it. So if
I like that it comes with a QR code for instructions, so this way you know what to do.
Are you guys going to buy Quest 3? Meta Quest 3?
Not yet.
No.
When Viviverse comes out, I'll buy something. I had the Quest 2 for a while, and I like some of the stuff. I kind of disappointed, not in the gameplay. I wasn't good. I wasn't good at the gameplay, like any of it, and like each game has been like $20 on. Like I don't know if it came with any games. I'm sure it did, but the games I wanted to play, all right, $20 here, $20 there. It's like
they're mostly paid. Yeah, it's pretty pricey. Like they're mostly paid. There's no, they only have like demo games basically for free. There's a few free games, but they're not great. What I was gonna say, Randy, is the reason it's more difficult is because like instead of a flat 2D game, like it's literally 3D games. It's completely different. And it's somewhat like real life, but obviously not as accurate yet. No. But the Quest 3 has really, really good full pass-through, full color AR. So if you can't afford the Apple Vision Pro, the Meta Quest 3 is going to be the best alternative for the moment. So it would be really cool if we get the Viviverse on Meta Quest 3, which I think they said you can do Quest 1, 2, and 3.
David mentioned the Apple headset next year. So just because he didn't mention Meta Quest 3, I think doesn't mean that we won't get on. I think we'll be on every headset.
I think they already are. I think the beta testers of the Viviverse are already using headsets. So
yeah.
Like this one.
Curious what Vive is. Do you have the HTC Vive? This is another company we partnered with, but like I feel like nobody talks about it.
The Vive, I played the original Vive. It was good. It was really good, but it only had like a tiny field of vision. Yeah. So like they had this game where you had to dodge these aliens shooting like these weapons at you. You need to dodge them, but whenever the ship would just fly a little bit off, it would disappear from your vision. But like your peripheral vision would normally see it, so it like hurt my brain to know that it's just here, but I can't see it, and I should be able to see it. So now they have like a much wider. They got about 120 to 140. It's close to 100 to 110 degrees of field of view for like the Quest 2, whereas the original Vive was like 80 to 90 field of. So just a little bit more gives you that. You never got full peripheral, but a little bit more is better. Yeah. Do you guys know the Vive Index? Is that what you're talking about, Randy? That's like the very best one at the moment.
The company that Vive partnered with recently, I think it was the HTC Vive.
Yeah, HTC Vive Index. That's like the very top level one. That one has like I think it's 140 degree field of view.
Wow.
So that's the more new one. Yeah, and it's like really high resolution. But it was like only the Quest is standalone. Like this runs by itself. The Vive was you have to be hooked up to really, really high quality computer, like a super gaming computer. And there's $2,000 or $3,000 for that gaming computer. And then the headset itself was like, I don't know, $1,200 or something. So you're talking like $4 or $5 grand to get into it. This this Quest 2 is like $500.
Oh, nice.
Or 400, maybe 300 now, because they're probably going to get rid of them real cheap as the Quest 3 comes out. And the Quest 3 is not going to be that much. It'll probably be like $500, $600. So for standalone, and the Quest 3 is double the power of the Quest 2 in terms of processing power. The resolution is higher.
I've heard people go and say they get a little motion sickness sometimes, or they get headaches. How long can you be, not in the Viviverse, but I guess play a game on that before it's like, oof, it's too much?
So it really depends on the hertz of the headset. So for instance, the HTC Vive Index I was just talking about before, I think that's what it's called, is that was like 120 hertz, I think, like that, or 140, depending on your computer.
Mhm.
But so the higher the hertz is like the higher the refresh rate, basically. It's the easiest way of explaining it. So if it's a high refresh rate, you don't get that sickness from it. But like the Quest 2, most games run at 60 hertz. So that's that's not that fast, at 60 frames a second. So
Yeah.
that could be, and some of the older ones are even slower, like 30 and 40 and 50 frames a second. So that would make you definitely get motion sickness, because like your brain, right? We run at like 200 frames a second or close to that. They've done tests with gamers where they've played on screens at like 200 hertz versus like 30 hertz or 30 frames per second or 60 hertz, and from 30 to 60, it's a little bit better, and to 200, it's like perfect. It's above 200 makes no difference, because you can get
Okay.
like 500 hertz screens and stuff now. It makes basically no difference. But if you go to like 100, it's a little bit worse. Like they actually did a whole bunch of testing and everything on a bunch of gamers to see how they'd play, and a pro gamer can still do really well on 60 hertz, but they will get beaten by someone at equal skill at 200 hertz. So it makes a big difference, and that's where you get the motion sickness. But some people are prone to it though. I've got a friend, he just like gets motion sickness instantly in it, but sometimes it's like they talk themselves into it as well, I think.
That makes sense. So about like Rain, what's the video game you played that you just can't put down, that like you get almost addicted to? It's like, oh, I gotta play it. I don't want to be here. I want to go and play my game.
So I only play a few games. I like Dota 2. I like ones that are like long time games that I play: World of Warships, World of Tanks, and Dota 2. They do have Starfield coming out by Bethesda. Now, Bethesda made Skyrim, which is one of the most legendary games of all time. And so will it be good? I hope so. I actually have it ordered. I'm definitely going to play it. And for me, it's research time, right? Because a lot of my stuff I invest in is video games. Like people say, what do you do for a living? I don't know what to tell them. I have to think up a better answer. So please give me some good answers, right? So I'm single again. And when I go talk to people and they say, what do you do? I'm like, I don't know what a good answer for that is. Like, retired is boring. I have a YouTube channel. They don't get it. So please help me think of a better answer. I could just say I play video games. I have a YouTube channel.
I don't think that's better than YouTuber.
I'm looking, yeah, right. So I'm a crypto investor. They don't know how to process that. So I don't know what to say, right? So somebody please give me a good idea of what to say when I go on a date and they ask me what I do, because I don't know what to say that works well. Jordan might know. Jordan has some experience getting hot women. Actually, all of you guys do. So
sorry, I was muted.
Attractive women.
Yeah, so what I would say, Rain, is I would try and direct the conversation to what they like and what they like to do.
Right, and then, just change the subject. What do you do?
Not necessarily change, but work out. Work out what they like and work out how you can connect what you like to that. Does that make sense?
Perfect. I'm just going to change because I don't have a good answer for that. Oh yeah, we'll just change the subject.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, obviously, they want to go deeper on you at some point. But on the first date, you can sort of. I like to make the girl talk a lot.
Yeah. Because when I say that, right, an investor, they don't really get it, and it's the truth too is you don't want to like lead with money, because
that's
then,
true
like,
as well, for sure.
That's the wrong thing to do in dating.
You might attract the gold diggers. You don't want that.
Yeah, and your good women will be like, yeah. So
look at Sleepin's. You gotta look at Sleepin's comment. That's like, I just had to laugh at that one.
I'm curious what Sleepin said. What did you do?
I'm rich, bitch. Oh, sorry. I hope there's no kids watching.
Yeah, but right now they're gonna want me to spend a bunch of money on them. I'm like, why would I spend a bunch of money on you? I got Veve shit to buy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, we're eating at McDonald's, baby. Why? Well, because I got important stuff to buy still. I'll take you somewhere nice in 2 years.
Damn, that's funny.
Man, you know this because some of you guys know my history, that I was very, very big into the game and like dating and stuff like that. I literally lost out on some girls that wanted to come back to my house because I wouldn't buy them a drink. So because I read this is what earlier on I read in a book, you don't buy girls a drink, right? and like it is somewhat good advice, but you can't be like stuck on it because
Yeah.
that single thing can completely ruin a seduction. Right. So I had a girl like ready to come. She's like, just buy me one drink. It's like she wanted me to buy a drink, and she was really, really happy. And I was like, man, if I just did that, I like 90% sure things would have moved on. But she got so upset that I didn't want to buy a drink. She's left. It's hilarious. So like, I learned a lot. Yeah, I used to do a lot of coaching other guys as well, and man, it was really, really fun going out. I haven't done it in a long time. I was just with some buddies of mine yesterday in the city in Melbourne, and we're they're a crypto group, an Australian crypto group that I've sort of formed. And we were just talking crypto, but we ended up talking game like half of it. And one of the guys just came back from Thailand, and he said, when you're traveling and like in places like Thailand, it is so much easier than in Australia. I assume it'd be the same as much easier than in America as well, because everyone's just free flowing. He said he would just walk up to girls on the beach. He said that he was on a nudist beach as well. He's walked up to this super attractive lady, no top, and they just started talking to her. Like it's just some of his experiences were like were crazy, and he saw so many girls. So Rain, you need to make a trip to Thailand, I think.
Yeah, it's not the worst place to be as single and rich. Although not spending money right now in this bear market, I'm trying to get as much additional crypto as I can. And people say that's just greedy. I don't know. I think of it as smart. So sure, you can call it greedy. I think it's smart because you're not really rich till you get past like the $40 million level. And who knows with inflation if 40 million is even quite what 40 million was 2 years ago. But really, until you have massive wealth working for you, you're not rich. Like a lot of people are like, oh, when I become a millionaire, my life will change. And it's like, yes, you can pay off your house, and that's nice, and that will change your life. But like the private jets and the lavish vacations, all that stuff doesn't happen until you've got 40 million plus, right? Otherwise, you were just spending all that money, because if you have $1 million, great, I have $1 million, paid tax, I have $1 million, and you buy a pack of bubble gum, you're no longer a millionaire. You pay off your house and you got $200,000 left. And it's like, well, what is that $200,000 going to do for you? Well, at least you have no mortgage payment, but you still have ongoing bills. And so really wealth, it's really nice once you get your house paid off. Like that's a smart place to be. But the kind of lavish wealth that people think about, where you have a Ferrari that you can afford the oil changes and stuff on, you have to be in like massive, like over $10 million, $40 million. And that really takes 2 good cycles to get that to that kind of wealth. So I went through 2017. I don't consider that other than my learning curve. So 2021 was my first cycle, which changed my life financially greatly. I could retire, and like I have retired, and live like an okay life, not super lavish, and make that last for forever. Great. But it's this next cycle that's going to get me to the kind of wealth that I was looking for, right? Which is, fun money, be able to do the private jet stuff or the yacht party, things like that. So that's why, we're talking about BitBoy, and it's like, I don't have time to watch him. I'm watching stuff about investing. Why? Because I'm dead serious about the opportunity that's here, and I get this opportunity. I don't know about you guys, but I wanted to be rich my whole life. I grew up poor, and I'm like, come on, how do you get lots of money? Because lots of money has lots of options. What I realized about being poor is you have no options. So how do you get lots of money when you don't come from money? Well, you got to see a technology shift happening and be able to position yourself in front of it. The more you make in your day job, the more money that you have to take advantage of that shift when it's happening. Well, we have a massive shift now where you can make massive amounts of money, like this metaverse thing, blockchain gaming, this idea of digital collectibles. Like we're all here because we believe Ecomi and Veve is one of the best positioned companies for that. And I 100% agree with that. It is the best positioned company for the shift in digital collectibles that's going to happen. It's going to be massive. So putting ourselves right in front of that shift as it happens, and then catching that wave, and then take profits as it goes crazy, because what goes up does come down. Just know that that's part of the cycle. And so many of you learned that this first time around and you didn't take any profits. Well, I learned that in 2017, and I learned that for 20 years prior in real estate investing and other types of investing too. And I still made that mistake my first cycle, 2017. That's why I didn't make real money till 2021. And this next cycle is going to be massive. So hopefully many of you guys are well positioned so that this first real cycle, because you can't count 2021 if you didn't take profits. So this will be your first real well-positioned cycle. Man, you guys are going to have a wild ride, because it's going to be a wild one. And one of our viewers asked a question, are NFTs going to survive? And I love that we're hearing that question from a lot of sources, that they're not going to survive, because that tells you everything's cheap and boring right now. And hell yes, they're going to survive. Now, don't buy crap, because crap won't survive, but the good stuff will.
You're telling me that a Mutant 8 Yacht Club for $8,800 is not a good deal?
Well, so, and I want to get into this a little bit more, but before we do, I wanted to answer Yeg's question, kind of just about the OMI, obviously, as we're talking about Veve and Ecomi. But then after this, I do want to talk about this news that just came out about the SEC's indictment, right? Or with what's Tom Bilyeu's project? Imagine, hold on.
Oh no, they're indicting Tom Bilyeu's project?
Yeah, they're tagging him too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we'll do that first, but just real quick to answer Yeg's.
And he's on Immutable X as well. Impact Theory is on Immutable X.
Yeah, and that's what it is, impact, right?
That's
So Yeg's Wise says, what's the most important utility for OMI or Ecomi, and what should we expect next and when? So I want to say that, and I made this kind of tweet thread about it, because the next thing that's coming is the bronze tickets, which I think will be massive. But honestly, what we really need before OMI to NFT, before the bronze tickets, before a lot of these other things that I really hope, I know that Ecomi's working on it, but the sooner that they can get it, the better, is to be able to purchase L2 OMI on the web app. And the reason that is, so let me tell you why. So right now, there is OMI moving over onto the app, right? People want that utility. And you can you get up to 10 million OMI, right? And then you're going to get some extra master collector points. And we know that over time that's going to drop as more people move on to there, right? But first of all, moving that is a freaking pain. I'm a blockchain subject matter expert, and I was still like, oh my gosh, I've got to move this over there, at least in my work, asterisks, right? So anyways, it's a pain for most people, and it's nerve-wracking. And so I think that most people are not going to do it, even though they see that incentive right now. So then the people who are moving it over, the majority are only moving over 10 million or just above 10 million. Now there are, I think there was about 50 people the last time I checked that had over 10 million in the app, right? So if we're doing the bronze tickets and you have to use it with OMI, purchase these bronze tickets with OMI, you have very little, 50 people who are probably going to be using any of their OMI over the 10 million to buy bronze tickets. But on top of that, they already have master collector points that they're getting for that 10 million OMI. So I just don't think most people who have the OMI to be able to use in the app for the bronze tickets are going to use it, because they have master collector points. And then they're like, I want this for other stuff. Where I really think that it's important that they have this, if I can just buy it on the web app right then it's an impulse thing. And people get excited and they're like, oh my gosh, I want extra chances at this drop. And now I don't have to take 5 different steps just to get OMI onto the app. I can just buy it with my credit card, buy layer 2 OMI, and then bam. That's when I think that we'll see massive churning of bronze tickets, and then also OMI to NFT. Now, the OMI to NFT is a little bit of an answer to where the people who do have OMI on the app, if they're like, hey, I want to buy this NFT, you can sell that NFT in OMI. Then some of those people might use that OMI to then burn bronze tickets. But for me, Yegs, I think that being able to buy layer 2 OMI on the web app, I think will be one of the biggest catalysts that will magnify a lot of these other utilities that are probably going to come first.
Yeah. So Dr. Stuff, I 100% agree that OMI on VV, you just click one button and use your credit card. That would be like, that's game over. And I know they're working on that, right? Reese has replied saying they're working on it. So it is indeed coming. And I think
They
that
are.
plus
I
bronze
mean,
tickets.
like Dr. Stuff said, bronze tickets is next. That'll be in Q4, and then in Q1 we'll have OMI to accessory. That could also be in Q4, but everyone, the VV verse needs to roll out the home space entirely first, and then you have OMI to accessory, and then I think you get OMI to gem, and that way, you constantly have people going and burning OMI. But I know that's a priority for them. I just don't think that's a direct priority right now. Let me get on the app. I would love it, like I said, but I just think tapering expectations, probably wait at least 6 months for that, if not longer.
Man, we've got so many questions in the comments here. I don't know if we'll just try and address a couple of them if we can. One of them we've noticed there's a bunch of people said they came here from Andre Jake and from BitBoy Crypto. And what's another one to address? Do you guys remember that David was talking about the connection with Apple? I think they're still connecting with Apple. We don't know what it's about yet. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, well, he says that he talks to Apple pretty frequently, but my understanding is that was more along the lines of like with their app and the developments that they can do on the app, and then the Apple app store and like any issues there. Not necessarily like, hey, Apple, we're partnering together, but that's another thing that I think will be a massive catalyst. So we already know that. I think it was Epic Games that sued Apple, basically saying there has to be another way for people shouldn't be locked into only being able to purchase items in the app through Apple's way, which basically opens the back door for people to use like a different alternative payment method like crypto. And the judge ruled in Epic Games' favor, right? But then there's been like a postponement of that, which was really interesting just like a month ago. But if that were to happen, I think that that's like another way, because right now, like being able to purchase OMI on, people will do it on the web app when that becomes available. But it's so just having it on your phone and being able to do that. So that's what makes me excited is I think down the road, there's that monopoly with Android and Apple Store where you basically are stuck paying that 30, well, the developers are stuck paying that 30% fee, or if you get crypto and things where the judge basically says, hey, they can't do that anymore. I think that people will start buying it on their phone, and that will be even more, because that's another step. You got to go to your laptop. It's just one less step that you have to do. And the easier it is for people to just act on impulse, the better it will be for OMI burns. That's my thoughts.
Agreed 100%. If you have to go and buy it from an exchange and then bridge it, it gives you time to think about it, like, and talk yourself out of it. Whereas an impulse buy, you just go and buy it right away, and then maybe you regret the purchase later, but a lot of times you don't, because you get those feel good chemicals, that serotonin dump. Oh, I just bought this. Look at me, I'm so good. And then you go and post it, and then you get a lot of likes, and people do that again, and it's a nice little cycle there.
Awesome. And so we've had some people talking about the buying OMI the web app.
Make it easy for people to buy collectibles with OMI, and you'll have so much more impulse buys, right? And then people will look back like Charles Hoskinson, who bought an Xbox for a bunch of Bitcoin, right? And then later, like, that was the most expensive Xbox of all times, right? Because, they make it easy and people move over their OMI into the app, and it will burn a lot of OMI. Especially the easier that becomes, so people can impulse buy. I don't have any cash to send over. I can just buy it with OMI. Yes.
So here's a question for you, going back to that second topic about our NFTs dead. So have you guys seen kind of like what's happened?
Where?
So with the SEC going after Tom Bilyeu's project, right? So Tom Bilyeu held a Twitter space, just barely. It might even still be going on.
Oh, nice.
It was going on when I jumped on the stream. But one of the things that he talked about that the SEC was hitting him for was royalties on his project, and basically how that that was one of the prongs that like initiated them looking into it as part of the Howey test. And yeah, I mean, this is just what Tom Bilyeu is saying, right? As he had these discussions with it. So here's my question: if royalties go away, do we think that most NFTs are dead? Now, I think that Veve. I mean, look, I believe that Veve sold a lot of their IP on. You're going to get royalties into perpetuity for anything you create here, and that was a massive selling point. Now, granted, the entire industry says like, well, there are no more royalties going forward. Do you think that most NFTs are dead? And then how does that change things for Veve?
It would kill NFTs, but the SEC has to get that past judges, right? And so with Tom Bilyeu settling with them, it's probably because he didn't want to spend the money, the 100 million or so he might have to spend fighting the SEC. But will that make it past a fair judge? I doubt it. That isn't what the legislature in 1930 had in mind, because royalties are extremely important for artists, right? That's what puts the investment behind it. So they would be breaking the free market if they get rid of royalties, because how do the artists then get compensated other than the initial sale? But a lot of times they don't make much on the initial sale. So those royalties are really important for them to be able to put in a lot of work, hoping that then if the artwork ends up doing well, they make a lot of money. So, I mean, the SEC is, in my opinion, corrupt. You see that in their behavior, and what they're going after isn't about protecting people. That's what they say. But I think a lot of it is about protecting established industries. And yeah, that's sad to see them going after Tom Bilyeu's project. I was reading a little bit about it on the side. I hadn't seen that today. But
do you guys see the Irishman?
Why people are saying our NFT's dead.
Domain. The Irishman says that we've got almost 22 billion OMI been bridged to layer 2. And if we can get that number to 30 billion, that means it's 10% of OMI supply locked up in staking. That would be
21,
unreal.
That 21 billion, that's not all circulating supply. Some of that is the reserve wallet or the vault wallet. So some
5
of that's
billion, right, of the reserve wallet.
Yeah.
What's that doing in there? Do you guys know?
That's always
yeah, that's been there since the beginning. That like runs like their ledger. So what happens
Oh,
is
okay, I get you.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Background. Yeah.
But I think for people having it like from circulating supply, I think it's like 12 billion or 15, but something like that. There's a good amount.
Yeah.
I know. Dr. Profit expects it to be about 30 billion going across at some point. So that would be awesome.
I think people are seeing like when people are, well, first of all, there was a freak out, right, of how many points you guys were initially getting, and I'm getting now too, right? Like, and that's what actually when I saw how many points we're getting, like you guys were getting, I'm like, oh, I gotta go bridge this. I gotta go do this. There's no way I'm gonna let Randy surpass me with daily points. And so so I did that, but obviously that's going to go down as more and more people bridge. But it's a big incentive, and I think that like we're going to definitely see more people kind of start moving some stuff over. Like I have a buddy, and he's just like he's still not super familiar with blockchain, and so he's bought a lot of the OMI on Bitfinex, but he doesn't have a MetaMask. And so he's like, dude, like whenever you can, like just help me set up a MetaMask wallet so I can send my, OMI on Bitfinex over to the MetaMask to then bridge it and do that process, right? So I think that there are other people like that. And shout out to Foster Hilt and Dave. Dave was actually, he did a video a long time ago about bridging the L1 OMI to L2. But anyone out there who's making these videos to just help people bridge it, super helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I might need to make a video that no one's done so far. Is how to do it from the ledger. I had
That'd be a great video.
Yeah, I had some people reach out to me in Twitter that were trying to move their ledger OMI onto MetaMask and then onto IMX and then onto Veve. So it's a little bit of a process. And you can actually hook up MetaMask so that it runs through your ledger as well. so you can actually use your ledger inside MetaMask, and then you just
Mhm.
have to put in your ledger code and stuff, and you can
Oh,
do it
wait,
that
you
way
can
as well.
use Ledger with MetaMask?
Yeah, I have my ledger set up in my MetaMask.
So
You can connect the ledger as
So-
like one of the wallets on MetaMask, right? But
Yeah.
even if you're doing transactions within MetaMask, you still gotta use your ledger and approve
Yeah,
it.
you have to have it plugged in, so you can just do the code. But you can also then, without having plugged in, you can go and check your crypto and see what's there, make sure nothing's randomly transferred out,
Mhm.
and check your balances and stuff. And only if you want to do an actual transaction, then you need to plug in your ledger and use the
so
code.
you can't.
But
So even if you make a mistake, someone says, "Here's a free NFT. Click to accept," but it says
Yeah.
drain wallet. It doesn't drain your ledger.
you can't hurt yourself because you don't have the
Okay.
ledger hooked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really really useful.
But you
I
should
love it.
never be minting and connecting websites on your ledger,
Yeah.
like ever. If you're
Yeah.
ever going to mint a free
Yeah.
NFT, ever have a wallet in your MetaMask that you designate as hot wallet that has very
Yeah, like a
minimal
brand new
fees in
wallet
it.
with like 0.1
Yeah.
ETH in it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, just don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say the other way you can do it is you can just move your Ethereum from your or whatever you owe me from your ledger to a separate MetaMask wallet, and that way you keep MetaMask separate from the ledger. So there's multiple ways you can do it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like having it hooked up. But it's
Yeah,
still
do that video though, Jordan. That would be very helpful for I think some people just to feel comfortable with things, you know.
yeah. But
Just
I just
don't
want to
mess up
also
on the
shout out
video.
we have 133 people watching right now. Woo! 133.
Mhm.
Look,
I've
this
been-
is going to become a staple, Jordan, and props to you for doing this, right? But like, just more and more people are kind of getting into the groove. It's every Monday, right? And I mean, sometimes it's the same cast of characters, but every once in a while, there's different guests and stuff. It's fun, man. Like I look forward to Mondays whenever I can, chatting with all you guys, and there's always things to talk about, whether it's Omi and Vivi or just like the Web3 space in general. So props to you, man, for putting
Awesome.
this on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Stuff. Did you catch Randy's stream with David Yu?
I mean, of course, like, and
Do you see my little sneaky?
yeah, trying to get him on.
What's it called? Shout out. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
dude.
And Randy's like, you can say yes, and Dave's like, yes, hell yeah. So he said he's going to come on the show, and
Yeah.
I've already been emailing with him, and man, he's awesome. He instantly replied to me, and
Nice.
he said that sometime in the next month. So you guys that are watching, you viewers, you guys have to come back every Monday until you see David. Hope that'll bring him back.
But hey, I wanted to give you a shout out, Randy. Like one thing, because I've I had the privilege with Crypto Rain to interview some CEOs of things, and it can be nerve wracking. But like for David to just pop on the stream and for you just to have such a great conversation and ask so many pertinent questions, especially. And the crazy thing is, I was about to jump on your live stream during that time, but like I mean, I was trapped. Like I was back east, and so I was like, oh, I got time, but then just got caught up in things and didn't. So I didn't even know David was on your channel. I had to watch it later. But just the types of questions that you asked and things, super informative and just like a fun, chill chat. I do think David was trolling though about not knowing that you were live.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was for sure. He was for sure.
But I love that. He's so fun with stuff like that.
He
man.
really is.
That's
He's such a character.
Yeah.
Like he's unreal.
Yeah. Hey, it's actually the first interview I did with him while I was sober. Every other interview I had with him, I was either on Lucy or I was tipsy. But yeah, I liked it. I had searing back pain because I was streaming for like 13 hours at that point, and my back was still is. But I don't know. I feel like my body just said, "Here's some adrenaline. Go and interview."
Yeah, but what's
so
crazy, Randy? I thought about this. If you didn't hurt your back, you would have never had David Yu on.
It's true. I wouldn't have streamed I would have been at work all week. I wouldn't have streamed for 12 hours.
Yeah, so like, and
Thursday.
you got a ton of shout outs too, like a ton. The last week you've had probably more shout outs than you've ever had, right? Like you must you must be racking it in.
Maybe
Did you make more than your work week? Did you make more than your work week, you reckon?
It depends, because it kind of helps. Depends on the sales I help generate versus what I can help save them. I'll get a piece of that. But yeah, the live stream, and then I did a 5-hour live stream 2 nights ago, and that did really well also. Or maybe it was, that was Saturday night into Sunday, and then I slept for 5 hours and I did the missed minutes drop, which was fun. I think it really just I don't want to say it was because of the stream. I think it's just because Omi was pumping up, and then the fact that I forget the Twitter account. They have like 30,000 followers, where they go and they post like a weekly who altcoins, who's in charge of the week, and Omi was number one. And then they put the top influencer up there, which happened to be me, and I was like, so I got a lot of shout out from that. That was cool. But I think it's really just Omi going up. When you go up like 50% like a week in a week, and people go to like one of the most, I don't feel like I'm associated with that. So that's been
So did you see? I had to laugh so hard. So first of all, shout out Randy. That was awesome. But as Omi's been going up, right, and there's been a lot more traction and people talking about it. Veve Viral had a post, right, and like and this person responds to Veve Viral being like, "Oh, thank goodness that CoinGecko is making people aware of that scam token, right? Omi, the scam token." and people were like, so they click into his profile, and guess who this person is? He's the producer for the Paul Barron Network. So I was like, you can't make this up, man. They are tripling down on this, right? Quadrupling down. And I just responded and I was like, bro, quit while you are significantly behind. Like, can you even get further? Like you're digging digging a hole so like you're gonna pop up in China. You're digging so deep, like it's crazy, man. Like what an L. Like it was so funny to me. I just was dying, man.
That is so crazy. What is their beef? And otherwise, like people ask what YouTube channels they watch. I like Paul Barron's information, but he is dead wrong when it comes to Veve and Omi, and it doesn't add up to me why he's gone so hard against it and like literally sold the bottom, fudded the bottom. Like you couldn't have timed it worse. And it's like, Paul, like if we met up, we could be friends, but I am never going to let you live that down. Like I hate it when people with influence tell people to essentially sell cheap and sell the bottom and like give up and, oh, we've got ties and we're taking them off our index and blah, blah, blah. Like, in other words, like he didn't say sell the bottom. He just gave people all this information that the conclusion they're going to come to is, oh my gosh, I should sell, and literally put the bottom in for those people. And they literally couldn't have sold at a worse time if they were watching his stuff and didn't know better. And I can't let him live that down because I'm an investor. I'm here for investing. And like, thanks. I was like, thank you, Paul. You're an idiot about this. And this bottom, I love bottoms like this. I literally bought some more and I was like, gosh, what a gift that this low price is, because I like buying low and then selling high. And what is he going to do? Reverse course when Omi's, at like 3 cents. And, the rest of us are like, okay, I'm taking profits. I hope it goes to 10 cents, but it's at 3 cents, right? I'm going to sell a bunch. And then sell more and be like, well, it's back on our index and this is so awesome. Look at it on our index and Omi, it's amazing and stuff. And we're like, oh my gosh. Oh man, you're going to be causing people to buy the top, right? Gosh,
And I think the other thing outside of Omi, they had given Veve a rank F on like their rankings. And they had Recur higher than Veve, and then like a month later, Recur that's they're done.
Somebody should clip Doctor of Stuff saying, you should quit while you're significantly behind.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna make a short of that, Doctor.
That's funny, man.
And then clip like Recur being on their index and then Recur failing, right?
Yeah.
And Veve signing some other big deal like with Alibaba and stuff, right? Like. They're opening themselves up to being memed out of credibility existence.
Well, it's crazy if you did that same Veve breakdown now, I think Veve would get like a A or B, right? Like much higher. Obviously, don't have interoperability. If it was fair, I think Veve would get like at least a B plus.
Yeah,
if it was fair, and why isn't it fair? That is the question that's completely unanswered. they seem to have taken this huge bias against it. Why? I don't know.
Well, and so there was a space and where I kind of called out Paul Barron and Kyle Wilson was in there, and obviously he was on that video talking. So he came up and kind of talked about it, and he was like, well, it's a snapshot in time. And I still was like, I still disagreed with some of the ratings and things about how they looked at it. But for them it's one thing to be like, okay, like, we were wrong, but it's another thing to continue to double and then triple down. And that's where it's like, all right, so like there's an emotion here where you're upset because you got called out as it was a terrible analysis, or most people felt that way, and so now you're doubling down. But like what you're doing is you're actually hurting. Now you're starting to hurt the people who listen to you, right? And like Rain said, like selling at the bottom or near the bottom, telling people to sell. And one of the things that it's crazy to me, I get his sentiment tracker, and I do think that with most crypto projects, that's very important for a token, right? Because a lot of tokens are based purely on speculation. And so it was funny because like when Bitcoin would be going up and Omi just sat there and people were like, why is Omi not following Bitcoin? Why is it not following the market? And I'm like, because honestly, Omi is like, it truly will be a token used for utility. And most people see that there's no utility there. And so it's not going to follow. It's not as based on speculation as it used to be. And I think that over time, like there is a chance, and look, take this for what it's worth. This is speculation, but there is a chance that Omi could decouple in general from the overall crypto market, because it doesn't matter what crypto is doing. People want the bronze tickets or people want other things. And so they're going to be buying it. And especially when it's tied to just like $1 worth of Omi, it doesn't matter what the actual price of Omi is. They can just get $1 worth to get these bronze tickets, right? So there is potential for it to decouple, but we've already started to see it. Most of the market's either stale or has dropped significantly, and Omi over the last month has almost doubled in price, right? And there's going to be retracements and things, but do I think that we're going to see 0005 or 0006 again? No. And all we're going to see is we're seeing more and more catalysts. And so it's surprising to me that Paul Barron, speaking with Kyle, didn't really realize that like that's what this token is, and that he shouldn't have a sentiment tracker for Omi because of how Omi is built compared to like the majority of other crypto tokens out there. Like it's not the same, and you shouldn't be comparing it the same or put it in the same category. And I think that the fact he did is where he really took a big L on this, is that he just lumped it in with other crypto projects. So
I was going to say the sentiment tracker is really, really good for meme coins, right?
Mhm.
Omi's not a meme coin. I mean, I'd be great if Omi became a meme coin, but it's not a meme coin, and it's not a shit coin. It's not sentiment only, and it's going to die off, and that's it. And like you said, I really believe that if we get like 500,000, even like a couple 100,000 users on Veve that we're using like weekly, then yes, bronze tickets could make Omi burn so quickly and have so much demand that we could for sure decouple from the whole crypto in general. And that would be amazing.
It could totally happen. And the challenge with Paul Barron's sentiment tracker, right, is it tracks things as they're getting hot. But that kind of analysis and using that kind of tool will cause you to sell the bottom on some of the biggest cryptos in history, right? If we went back to Cardano, and Cardano was going through a massive round of FUD in early 2020. And they had like started raising funds, I think in 2015, I think started planning the project in 2014. And so here we were in 2020 with no testnet live, no mainnet, no utility, and people calling it vaporware. And that was catching on, and it's vaporware and blah, 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 right? And it drove the price all the way down to 1.7 cents. And guess what? It would have exited Paul Barron's sentiment tracker at that time. Now, if you could rewind time and buy Cardano when it would have exited his sentiment tracker, would you do that? Well, hell yes. Would you be selling then? Well, only if you're stupid. And so he doesn't bring up the biases in his sentiment tracker and say, like, this may be causing you to sell the bottom. I just want to warn you about that. And if he did, he would have greater respect for me, because I think like an investor. I'm an investor who happens to have some influence. He's got a lot of influence, but when he misinforms people about investing, like, I get personally offended, because I'm about how do you use your money wisely to make more money. And dumb moves offend me. And so him bringing up his sentiment tracker without giving people the biases that could cause them to lose massive amounts of future money, well, that offends me. And so I don't like people leading people down to make stupid moves. And that's what I felt like it did. And I otherwise respect his network, but them doubling down on this like animosity towards Veve and Omi, like, David Yu doesn't care. He's off doing his own thing. This is going to happen with or without Paul Barron's network. All he's going to do is savage his own credibility because Omi doesn't need him at all to do well. He doesn't have that much influence. And come on, like, we respect your brand and everything. Don't be stupid about it. And don't your producer like fudding it like it's not even a real token. How stupid is that? Please get your people in line, Paul. Just own up to it and be like, hey, in fact, share the caveat about, hey, look, this could cause you to sell the bottom on a token that might otherwise do well. And gosh, we're good. You're good with me. You make that update and inform your audience. So unfortunately, many of them have sold and missed out. It's 2x since then.
What I want to know is how much he was
18
paid.
Nah,
I want to know how much he was paid to FUD Veve.
I don't. Okay, let's not necessarily go there. There is speculation about Animoca Brands, right? And like, there's some sort of tie there, but that's all speculation. I don't want to say he for sure is paid, but it does look suspect, right? And especially like, again, this is what's so funny to me. Like that same clip where they were saying Veve's dead, you know, and the guy is like, "What's Veve? What's Veve?" And I'm like, "Well, Veve has been a top by market cap, a top 200 token for like multiple years now, since like 2021." And it's at market cap 118 right now, right? And this isn't like the bottom of the bear market, but we got catalyst after catalyst. I think that if we start to see some more utility or some of these other things happen this year, Omi could break top 100 coins. And here's someone sitting there saying it's dead, the token's dead, sentiment's down, and it's all out. And then the doubling down on that's just wild to me. It's just wild to me.
I think a lot of this comes down to interpretation of data. And I don't know exactly where the coin sentiment comes from, but in my experience, a lot of people here are first-time investors. So if you have a lot of people feeling bad or feeling not good about the token, oh, it's a good thing. Facts don't care about people's feelings. And the fact that we don't go and we don't trade on that, we don't invest on that if you want to do it one way. But I feel like he's like the Jim Chanos of Web3. Jim Chanos being like, oh, Tesla's just a car company. When they're not just a car company, they're a software company that sells cars. He's going interpreting this data. Okay, the sentiment is bad. That means we should sell. That means we're going to give it an F. Not going super deep into the tech, and I'm not saying that a tech, let's say like Colex or Hero, I think is great. Their tech is complex. They have a bunch of leaderboards, but I mean, just because the tech isn't super complicated and it's a little simplistic doesn't mean it won't work. I mean, like the microchip and pasteurization is something that's really simplistic, but that changed the world. So I think it's just I don't know Paul Barron really at all. I don't know who writes for him, but that interpretation of data, which I've seen before, like the Tesla bears or the Tesla shorts, people that said, oh, don't buy Pokemon cards or children's cardboard, or now Veve and Omi, they just don't know. Either they have all the facts and they're interpreting it insanely wrongly, incorrectly, or they just don't have all the data because they just don't know how to look for it.
I think his knowledge of what's going on is somewhat limited, and I doubt anybody specifically paid him to FUD Veve. I just don't think he would take something like that. Maybe he's got some kind of deal with Animoca Brands and he's excited where that's going. But let me just share with you, like, let's do Investor 101 quiz. So Investor 101 quiz, buy high or buy low? As an investor, do you want to buy high or buy low? So if you want to buy high, do you then want to be buying when the sentiment is really high? Or if you're trying to buy low, you want to buy when sentiment is really, really low, right? So if you're selling buying and selling according to the sentiment indicator, do you want to buy when sentiment is really high? Because I don't. I want to buy when sentiment is low. I want to buy specifically, though, things that when sentiment is low, they still have a good future. And that takes research and understanding of where the project is at and where it's going. And so sentiment is really, really low. I'm like, yes, buy more. And he's like telling his audience, oh, Omi is dead, Veve is dead. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. 2020 with Cardano again. And I went through that, and Cardano made me over 100x from there. I wish I could have I had more liquidity available to just load up the boats more. My friend found a way to borrow $100,000 and buy Cardano at that price. I mean, I told him he was crazy for taking a loan to do it. End up working out. I don't suggest that to anybody because it increases your risk. Although he didn't have to make any payments for 3 years. So I was like, well, that's a crazy loan. Gosh, I don't know.
That is a crazy loan.
I know, right?
How much did he end up making?
Loans to buy crypto, guys.
Millions. He ended up making millions on that. And people were saying Cardano was dead. And so here we go. This is, in my opinion, Omi is like the opportunity that Cardano was last cycle. And I still love Cardano. It's a great opportunity. It's just not 3 cents and 1.7 cents anymore. It has reached 20 to 30 cents, which is an amazing price for Cardano, like amazing. But Veve is at prices it never should have hit. The pendulum swings too far to the downside. Why? Because certain people are looking at sentiment indicators and saying, oh no, the price is really, really cheap. Sell now. What are you here for? I don't sell when it's low. I buy when it's low. What am I missing about this? I'm not missing anything. This is just what people do. This is just emotional investing, right? This is panicking out, which causes the pendulum to swing too cheap, which is when smart people that get it with investing buy, and then we hold it till like it goes crazy. And those people that panicked out are now rebuying in. And it's like, okay, I'll sell to you. Are you sure you want to buy at these prices? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll sell it to you. I'm exiting at this price. No, it's going to go up forever. Oh, maybe it will. I don't think it will, but maybe it will. I guess you can have that risk if you want, but here you go. And the cycle then just repeats.
Emotional damage.
I know, right?
Emotional damage.
Oh, Paul. Let's have a chat sometime. Yeah. You have a lot of influence. You do a lot of interviews. Most crypto channels don't do a lot of interviews. I like that Paul does it. Maybe he could ask slightly harder questions sometimes, but I appreciate the interviews because I like to see teams, and he reaches pretty much anyone he wants these days. And I like that about his channel and good information. He's just dead wrong on this, and I won't let it go. Why? Because there's 400, 500,000 subscribers. When he says Veve and Ecomi is dead, people believe him, and it's going to cost them massively.
Should we invite him on here?
Yeah, let's do.
No, I mean, if he would do it, that'd be great, and
that'd be fun.
I don't know. I highly doubt that he will, but sure.
He can bring Kyle, so he's got some backup.
Sure, right? Like that's fine. Bring on Kyle.
That'd be crazy.
Like if he wants to address that, not only address like his video and kind of defend that if he wants to, right? But then defend the Veve is dead comments, and then defend like his producer and other people. Now, not that he necessarily is responsible for how his other people act, but for me, the fact that his producer is still saying that, I take that as like, all right, that's still the sentiment around the network. I could be wrong there, right? But like, yeah, like that would be very interesting. But yeah, I don't see him coming on. But hey, man, you never know. What up, Mark? Dude, Mark is a rock star. Can I just say that? I've seen him on Twitter. Yeah, freaking rock star. And he actually, shout out to Mark. He was the one who did Foster's Spider-Man clip, for my thumbnail. I was dying at that. It was good. It was really good.
Foster's looking good. He did that?
By ISO noted.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's trolling us.
Mark, I have a question. I guess as I bring this up, I think next it's good to talk about the Cryptoys announcement. But I wanted to, before we get to that, I'll say, Mark, when you made that thing of Foster, did you use my photo? Did you use my body? So Marvel, I think, is safe with us, but Cryptoys now has Star Wars and Disney. I went over this a little bit went live before, but what do y'all think? What do y'all think about that?
Of the Cryptoys, right?
Cryptoys having Disney?
Well, licensors always love to sell it in as many places as possible, right? So if Vivi doesn't have an exclusive with them, then of course Disney's going to find other avenues that are different enough that they can do it. This always happens, right? So
I think I love it. I love seeing. I really want Cryptoys to succeed, and it'll be different, right? This Mickey Mouse, like supposedly, I'll be able to use it in some sort of like playable environment, right? That will be really interesting to see. Um, does it look as good as what Vivi has? No, and I don't think it's meant to be compared to that. And so, but I love that Cryptoys is landing some of these major licenses, and hopefully they get more. And it's different enough, honestly, that like I don't feel like I have to choose one or the other. Like, oh, I'm only going for Vivi because like otherwise it's going to hurt Vivi. I feel like it's different in what they're doing, and yeah, I'm stoked that they got that license. Keep building Cryptoys. I think it's great. And yeah, like I definitely. I'll definitely go for it. I'm going to go for Mickey there, and because I want to play with it on their platform, right? But hopefully they get a marketplace up there soon, and because that's kind of wild, especially with how much people have put in to try to get that Yoda drop, and there's no secondary marketplace. Hopefully that gets built out pretty soon.
Awesome.
I think we'd all like to see Cryptoys successful, and hopefully they take the ethos of let's all get along and progress together. You'll see companies in the space do a lot better when they take that ethos. When they try to challenge the king of Vivi and go head to head with them, it doesn't usually end well. But if they're like, hey, it's a big sandbox, let's all play together. Because what some companies have tried to do is tried to peel away people from the Omi or the Vivi family. And, they've hired influencers or whatever, and they try to get there through bagging on Vivi. I think that's a terrible tactic, and it comes across as tacky. But if they're like, hey, we love Vivi. Oh my gosh, what they've done is amazing. And we have this product, and it's got some similarities. It's different in these ways. I think that sets up a strong foundation for them to really kind of build a brand too.
Agreed.
And it seems like they're taking that approach, and I appreciate that from them.
Yeah, on his space, he did what Lori Brenner, Will had gone on and said, we're basically modeling ourselves after Vivi. That's their blueprint. They kind of Vivi started off with like no marketplace. We had to buy stuff on eBay and hope they transferred it to us.
I remember those days. I remember Todd's going for like 5,000.
Nerve-wracking.
Do you guys remember Todd's going for like 5,000 on eBay? It was like because
No.
it was so hard to buy, right? You could only buy it on eBay. You couldn't buy it through the app.
I didn't remember going for that much on eBay.
It might have been. It was quite a bit. It was quite a bit. It
No,
might have been a low.
One for 500.
Maybe
Might have been a low mint. This might have been like a really low mint. This is right when Todd started blowing up, but we had no market for a while, no secondary market. What I was going to say was, David, Randy, on your channel, he was actually like he really wants other competitors. He was like, you guys are calling them competitors, and like he's like, it's really, really good for the space for someone else to be winning. Okay, not just Vivi. So David, you actually want more companies like Cryptoys to do well, because it's actually going to help grow the space in general. Yes, maybe they're siphoning off some Vivi users, but I think most Vivi people are going to stay with Vivi. They might just fiddle a little bit in the Cryptoys, but if they can start to grow it themselves as well, and we get a few other NFT platforms that actually hang about and don't just go down like many of them have, it'll be good over time for just there's not just Coca-Cola, there's Pepsi, right? There's not just BP, there's Shell. There's all the big ones. There's not McDonald's, there's Hungry Jack's, or you guys have Burger King, right? It's the same. I think it's the same company. So like there always has to be at least 2 or 3 big players or more in the space for it to really grow. It's not good just having one winner only. So, but like you've said, Randy, before, Vivi is always going to be number 1, and everyone else is always competing for second place.
I mean, I also like the fact that McFarlane and Cryptoys have been marketing to Web 2 peeps. Like that Super Bowl commercial in 2022, where you had Ford had like a 30-second commercial featuring their new electric truck. And on the Google data the next day showed that there was a spike in Tesla Google searches right after that commercial. So I think with them going and paying iJustine and paying that dude from TikTok talk about the Star Wars mint drops, which I don't think really worked out this time. Let them cook. They're a very new company, and they just got Disney. And Disney loves those sweet license their secondary market fees. I don't think they would have gone with them unless they thought that they wouldn't get their market out. I assume their market out is going to come maybe the next 6 months. This way they could release Disney, they could have all the stuff. The only thing I wish they would do is I wish that, let's say, like, you for the most recent one with Star Wars, yeah, you can get a Leia drop, first appearance of Leia, and then they incentivize you by buying the rest, and you can get a first appearance Yoda on the blockchain. With this one though, yeah, you have a first appearance Pluto, which is cool, but you don't have a first appearance Chase. Like, the airdrop is going to be a Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, which we already have like a dozen Mickeys on our blockchain, but we already have Sorcerer's Apprentice as well. If they would have done something with Pluto or like a new Mickey that we don't have yet, I feel like that would be a little bit better. So I hope they change that.
Awesome. Bill Garner is looking at a 69. How do you say it?
Chevelle.
Yeah, Chevelle. So
Bill.
I'm guessing that's an old school muscle car.
Yeah. Chevelles are awesome, man. Like,
Is that a V8? I'm sure they're probably in V8. A lot of those 69 ones were.
Bill, I've known him for a while. He's been following me since the Earth 2 days. Bill, you got to buy that logo. Buy that gold and silver VV logo, or more Omi.
He doesn't have one?
Can wait. No, he doesn't have one yet. Like, the card
I
can wait.
don't have one yet either.
Yeah.
What the fudge, guys? We gotta. What can we do to tell you?
If I could buy with Omi, I would. But I
you
don't
got to
wanna
get
spend
in.
cash.
Rain, there was people in the gold and silver logo chat too that were like, Rain's got to get in here. And
yeah, they're talking about you.
Yeah, we're like, he'll come in. Give it some.
All good
give
things.
It a time. But there was another person that we were trying to talk into it, like Randy and I. That would be massive if he came in and.
He'll be in. Actually, he should have gotten a bank letter today, so his KYC will be pushed through. As long as he got it, his KYC will be pushed through.
Is this a Randy Whale?
This is a Randy Whale.
Definitely a whale, and but basically, I would say that, like, he already said, look, if I could just use crypto and buy, like, I would have already bought it. And there's some other stuff that I would have bought.
Same here, man. Same here.
Yeah, it's just like in Europe, it's just so expensive to convert that kind of stuff over that he's just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pull the trigger. So once we get Omi to NFT and some of these other catalysts there are people, massive whales sitting on the sidelines just wait for that. So, but like I definitely that gold and silver logo, I am so pumped and just like, yeah, Randy, man, just one of these days, I'm gonna have to just like I've got to just like wing you with the towel or something, man, because you just like twice hosed me on getting my logo. I was watching the price, it was dipping down. It was at 2.1K. I literally had the buy button. I was about to buy one for 2. And I was like, things are going down. It's going to dip a little bit more. I was like, if it hits 1.9, I got greedy. I got greedy. I was like, if it hits 1.9, Randy does a freaking video that night on the gold and silver logo. The price pumps to like 3K. I was like, So then I'm about to buy it again, and Randy does another video. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to wait until it drops a little bit. And then I obviously bought much higher than I originally planned, and because I was like, look, this is going to keep happening because Randy loves the logo, and rightfully so. And as I've gotten into that group, honestly, this is a tight-knit group, right? And this is David Yu's special project. It's his little baby, like his pet, where he's like, this is something I want to focus on. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So here's this master collector 10,000, right? Who's saying, I want to reward collectors at heart. And this is the mechanism which I'm going to use to do that. That to me, I just was like, I can't step away from that. So obviously I bought one. I don't have two or anything. I wouldn't mind buying
my screen?
But, yeah, it's something that we got to talk you guys into.
Can you guys see my screen?
Oh, snap.
That's so good.
Meow, meow. That's funny. Who created that? Who did that one?
I think Daniel Lee changed it because we had it said Buck Nasty there originally before PBN.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
It's awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah, good times. Forget what we were. Oh yeah, in the Harry Potter books, the army that Harry Potter creates called Dumbledore's Army. I feel like in this gold and silver group, I feel like it should be nicknamed David Hughes Army to kind of show that he's the Dumbledore of our.
Awesome.
Well, David, you did talk really highly about the gold and silver logos. So,
Yeah.
Randy, are you stacking some cash yet? Because you've got to get the new one.
I know. There's, for those of you that don't know, there's a new gold and silver logo that's coming out. Now, the old one is always going to have the one that has utility, so that won't change. But there's going to be a new one, so I have to get the 41 to complete my set. But the good thing about it is that they'll only be handed out to gold and silver logo holders, like the OG ones, and they're going to start at New York Comic Con, so they'll be super scarce. And hopefully whoever gets it is really nice and don't make me pay like $6,000 for it.
Hey, Randy, see Mark's comment? I bought a logo because I was watching Randy's stream to dock of stuff. Randy's bad for your wallet, but good for long-term investment. Not financial advice.
Not financial.
We got Rain the Rockstar in the house.
Yeah.
Only because he asked so nicely. I like how he asked.
Those are those glasses, like those memes or whatever like that, where someone just does something just like epic, and then the shades come on, right? And they're like, those are the exact same shades, right? And that's so dope.
Yeah, we'll have to make some memes with like Paul Barron saying Omi is dead and like show the price, and then like Omi goes 100x or 200 or 300x from here, and yeah, it'll be like me with these glasses on, right? And I'm still losing weight because I'm working out like a madman. I still have like 20 or 30 pounds to go. I'll be looking super fit with the 6-pack, and I'll be like with these glasses on a beach, with the private jet maybe in the background or something. I guess, private jet, not going to be at the beach, probably at the runway, but yeah.
Do you guys think we might get the Harry Potter license?
I'm hoping one day.
Because like that would be pretty awesome to have like Harry Potter, Voldemort, like the Hogwarts. Imagine a Hogwarts world, like in the Veverse, like a Hogwarts world. Yeah, that'd be unreal.
Before they announced that the tease was Avengers, I thought it was going to be Harry Potter for a quick minute, because I had a kid with potions, in the potion classroom, lightning bolt, like the scar. The only thing that didn't make sense was the ants. It was like, oh, okay, the ants. That kind of gave like, oh, it's not.
Yeah, because the snake could have been Snape, right? Like there's a lot of different ties, or Slytherin, right? Like
not the snake. I thought it was a duck.
How did you think that was a duck?
I was looking at my phone from like a distance, and like it looked like a duck. Seriously, looking from a distance, and like I looked up close. Like, oh my god, it is a snake. Oh, so silly. Let's see, manga licenses. That'd be awesome. That'd be
we have a big announcement in September. I don't know what it is.
Well, we're not far. A few days.
Music, man. Music. David had said at the beginning of this year that they were going to be introducing a new vertical, at least one new vertical, right? Then he had the records in the background of one of his interviews. So I think that's my guess. Again, he's become a troll and obviously knows that we watch very closely at everything that he puts back there. But he also had Kaz. That was kind of crazy, like a lot of cause, right? And I think that would be. I hope it's not like a one of one if they do something like that again. Just like man. Just
you're doing the artist.
Yeah, Kaz the artist.
I thought you said cars for a second.
Oh, Kaz.
What cars do they have?
the God. Yeah, Kaz, Kaws, the artist, as opposed to cars. That's funny. Kaz.
Ooh, could be Street Fighter. That would be awesome. Oh, it fully could be Street Fighter. I'm thinking of all the icons. You've got the guy sort of like he has the long arms and he has something to do with snakes.
Delphine?
The lightning, is what's it, Blanca? You got. I reckon it could be Street Fighter. I'm gonna have to go through all the icons again.
Wait, who's the one with the lightning in Street Fighter?
Blanca.
Blanca, Blanca.
He's like and just like sits on like lightning. Yeah, I reckon that could be cool. I reckon it's possible. There's quite a few things with those icons, right? And we don't know how he's interpreting it.
That's a fun profit. What up? Marketing would be great too.
Banksy?
Emojis are funny, man.
The Banksy one
I-
wasn't actually by Banksy, right? It was like
No, it was a weird roundabout ownership like argument and things. The company that like made those collectibles, Banksy like tried to sue or something like that, and he lost.
Lord of
And
the
so like
Rings.
they had the rights to do that. And so I don't know if they were just like, you know what, like this is gonna give us some bad publicity, so maybe we'll pull back from that, or maybe we'll kind of let it die down before we do something. But I still love the piece. I think it's some of those are beautiful, like the flower bomber, like that's just awesome. Like the girl with the red balloon. Yeah, I love a lot of Banksy's pieces, but obviously don't want to disrespect the artist either. I think that he's gonna come. I think once he realizes though, like how big, like this is truly a way for artists to actually make money in this space. Like so many times you get this artist, they create great work and then their pieces sell for so much money, but it's like after like they miss out on all of those gains, right? And so I think these are a way for artists to truly make a good living. They become big, so hopefully he kind of comes around to that, but we'll see.
Yeah, it would be really really interesting if we need to get bronze tickets going before we have some of these big drops, because it's going to make a big difference. Like imagine we get Harry Potter, we get Lord of the Rings, we get One Piece, we get Street Fighter. All those are ones where I think people would pay bronze tickets, right? There's quite a few that can still. They haven't dropped Fast and Furious yet either. I've been waiting for that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that. They said Fast 10, and like that movie was out like a while ago now.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it. So,
well, gotta wait for Fast 11.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they're just gonna keep going, right? There's gonna be like 10 years later.
500
Like,
of them, man. They will milk that.
Fast.
But they still make money.
Fast 100.
Yeah, they do. They make money.
Like
it's a winning recipe.
Marvel doesn't like to do things past like 3, but if they make money, like Captain America 3 made so much money. Oh, we'll do Captain America 4. Same thing with Spider-Man 3. If you make $2 billion, you're getting a 4th movie. Like I don't care what you're doing.
Oh man, there's you guys are all like on YouTube, right? There's a new AI tool that lets you do a text prompt to YouTube film. It's amazing. So it doesn't do AI video generation or anything. It makes a script. It uses like story blocks type things, so like stock video footage, and it does background music through AI. So it does all these different things, puts it all together, makes it very cohesive. The voice is amazing. The voiceover is all AI, and it puts it all together within like 3 or 4 minutes. You can make like a 5-minute video just from a single text prompt. It's amazing. It's really cool. It's called InVideo. You guys should check that out. But that's just what I'm getting at is that this is the very, very first iteration of text to film. Imagine when it gets better and better and better, and they can start doing proper video. Like some of these Marvel films could be 100% AI generated eventually.
Yeah, I don't like that, man. And I am gonna like pull back on supporting 100% AI generated content. Like that takes out like I don't want to get too far into that world, man. Like we live on the world. Like we got to interact with people, and like I like watching real emotion, or like even if it's an actor portraying this emotion, right? Like I don't know, man. Like that's where if there's like 100% AI generated movies, I'm not going to support that. And that's why the actors are on strike right now. They're afraid. They're afraid for their jobs, right? And AI replacing a lot of things there. So
Greta Thunberg, Andrew Tate, storyline for Fast and Furious 13, please.
Yeah. Dude, Rain, what is going on? I'm seeing like you responding like 5 times to the same.
Yeah, the last 2 times I've typed one thing, it's duplicated it 5 times. So I don't know what's going on.
You're spamming the chat, man.
Yeah.
It's that the algorithm just likes you so much that that it's just like I gotta repeat what Rain said.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's reposting everything I said to everyone's stream.
Oh,
yeah, because it showed it on mine that
5 times. So mine and then everyone else's, right?
That's probably a StreamYard problem, not yours.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll fix next stream.
Well, StreamYard, you must love me. I appreciate it, StreamYard.
I've got to wrap it up in about 5 or 10 minutes, guys. So,
yeah.
Should we go round table for final thoughts on Veve, Omi, and everything else we've discussed today?
Sure.
I did want to share something going deeper into Animoca brands in the metaverse. Do you mind if I share it real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So thinking bigger picture where this is going. This is why, as an investor, I get super excited. In my private Discord, shout out to Max, who shared a recent TED Talk by Yat Su, where he lives in Asia. Now, Yat Su is one of the smartest investors in crypto and blockchain gaming and stuff. And he founded Animoca Brands. And he said where he lives in Asia, the average person spends 9 hours a day online. Think about that. 9 hours a day. That is most their waking hours. So this is the metaverse already. But in Metaverse 1.0, which is where they are with 9 hours a day, it's owned by social media giants and search engine giants. And you own nothing there. You make their network larger and you get nothing for it. Except, I guess what you get for it is your data harvested, your search history sold without your permission, your purchase history sold, and you get free email for it as long as you don't use over like 1 gigabyte, because then you got to pay extra for it, right? But then you pay for it and then your email after 1 gigabyte of storage. So these metaverse giants of Metaverse 1.0 are the largest companies in the world. Bring about blockchain 2.0 though, or Metaverse 2.0. These are being created now, and most don't know it yet, but these are going to supplant the Googles and the Facebooks and the legacy Metaverse 1.0s. Like Mark Zuckerberg gets it, but what he doesn't get is that with Metaverse 2.0, trust is king, and no one trusts Mark.
Yeah.
This idea spawned by Bitcoin of decentralization birthed this idea of a return to true ownership. Specifically, money was what Bitcoin was about, or value. But it spawned this idea of ownership in other ways, and it's spreading to these other ideas throughout the internet and crypto space. So Veve is creating the Veveverse, and I can't say that I know that it will be amazing, so amazing that it beats Facebook or YouTube for like views per hour and stuff. It's kind of years too early to know, but it could happen. But even if that doesn't happen, the Veveverse is probably still going to be a big deal. And even if the Veveverse doesn't become this massive app that beats everything, what if it becomes the app that all the avid collectors use? Because isn't that a massive success? Couldn't that still be 500 million users? It could be gigantic. I think this whole idea of where things are going, like Yacht Superman Animoca Brands gets it. I strongly suspect Elon Musk gets it. He's just not talking about it while he's positioning X.com to really benefit from this, because the Metaverse 2.0 is coming, and a lot of these legacy enterprises are going to get replaced by much better ones. And what I love is Veve is positioned in the special space of digital collectibles, which I think is going to be a massive, massive, massive area. And they are in lead position #1, and nobody is close to them, despite what Paul Barron thinks. Nobody is even close. They are crushing it. And so as an investor, gosh, this is why I come on as many Mondays as I can, because I want people to understand how well this is positioned. I can't guarantee that it'll do well. I just really, really, really like the odds, and I'm putting my own, like a large chunk of what I own behind it, and have put a large chunk of what I own behind it. Why? Because the odds are really, really good. And so those are the bets that I take.
Ray, we have a question from Gabe. Do you want to do any TA, or do you think you know where Omi might be traced to?
I've got it pulled up. I can pull it up real quick if we all got time.
Yeah, I've got a little bit.
Yeah, Jordan, stay. Woo-hoo.
Okay. Yeah,
let's just stream for like 4
I
hours.
was looking at, and
I would love to do that. I would have to go get my salad bowl and just eat here. What do you guys think?
So really, we're trying to look back and see. Let me just change the timeline so if we can see, okay. And let me look at the 4 hours. So he wants to know if it'll come back to 0.085. It could. So oftentimes, I don't know if it will. It came up to the same level it had trouble with before, and it's come back down. I don't know if it's going to come all the way back down here. I hope so. I hope it comes back down a little bit farther. But at this point, often a W forms, but with how high it ran, Usually, if it's going to form a W, it doesn't run up to the same point as where it had before. It'll stop somewhere short like this and then come back down, putting in a higher low. So I give it only like a 25 or 35% chance it's going to come back down to this zone. I hope so. This was amazing. Holy cow, Paul, thank you. It wasn't just Paul that helped create this. But like, this is when he's like, oh, Omi is dead. And I'm like, are you kidding? This is my, like, I can't believe these prices ever happened. The pendulum swings too far to the downside. Oh, our sentiment indicator, Well, that's what happens when people are fighting out of a project. Yeah, Twitter sentiment probably was down and less engagement. Why? Because they're just depressed. And that's when I buy, when there's blood in the streets. What do you think the sentiment indicator says when there's blood in the streets? That sentiment's bad and there's blood in the streets. And that's where savvy, smart investors buy. And if you're not here for investing, some people are just here for other reasons, but I'm here as an investor to make money, to turn little bits of money into large bits of money. And so, like, I just found what he said nonsensical because I like to buy cheap. And now I made this chart unreadable. There we go. But I don't know if it'll hit back to that price. I just hope it will.
Yeah, the only thing that I think might prevent that is that we will get more utility next quarter, and that's
Also, Mo had a good point here. Basically, that so many people now have locked up their tokens in the app that probably won't be selling them, and more people are still getting tokens because they know the price is coming down. Like, they're buying and they're locking them up more and more. And yeah, there's less and less on exchanges. So maybe 001 is the next local bottom. I don't know.
Yeah, it went down there a few days ago to 001, went back up, and then now it's kind of hovering a bit around that, but it's above it.
Seems to be quite strong at the moment. It's been over 12 hours, I think, that it's come down here but not gone any further.
One of the big surprising things that on my stream the other night, one of Veve and Ecomi's biggest critics and biggest bears, God's Entry, it came on and said this is a good place to accumulate, and he thinks it does a 50 to 75x from here. Now, I think that's actually still a bit conservative. I think it does 100x, but that's just my opinion. For him, one of the biggest bears to go do that, and he said he's not in yet. I think that speaks volumes.
I gave him some crap for calling 0004 because he said in your stream, he's like, I called the bottom. I'm like, no, you didn't. You called 0004 when I called 00055. So like he literally is like, oh yeah, I called the bottom. No, you didn't. Like, there was weeks and weeks went by before he said anything like that. So it's funny though. He's a cool guy. I actually don't mind him. And I think he's good for the community overall. I feel like he was calling 0004 because he wanted that to happen so he could load up because he really believes in the project. Yeah. So
the problem is though, when people call 0004, they call this, then it hits that, and then they call for lower.
Yeah.
I'm not saying God's Entry necessarily would, right? Like, I mean, he's pretty good at technical analysis. I'm pretty good. He's good. He's good at technical analysis. But like, but that's the thing is, like people were saying, 001. And then it went past that, right, and went below that. And then they were like, oh, and they didn't buy then, right? So they were calling 001. It's kind of like, oh, we think it'll drop below that. And so then it drops below that and they don't buy. And then all of a sudden it's 0004. And that's the thing is they continue to call this, but then they just never buy. And for me, I was like, look, I bought some of my OMI at 008. I thought it was a great buy. And so, like, if I can get it at these prices, like I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for it to go lower, and that's, look, if we look at the Veve gold and silver logo as like an example, right? I sat there and I was like, oh, I think it's going to go lower. I could have pulled the trigger right then, but I got a little greedy and I was like, I want to get it this cheaper price instead of being like, you know what, even at this price, it's a good deal. And that's what I should have done. Right. And so then I ended up paying more for it to just still get into it. And that's the thing with OMI and these projects, like, yeah, and I'm just going to wrap up because I've got to go. But I just want to say this. First and foremost, you guys are still here. It's amazing. It's amazing that you guys have weathered the storm because so many people have left. Like, a lot of my good friends that were in crypto, they're checked out. They're just like, I can't anymore. They're like, I'm done lighting my money on fire, And like, I mean, I was like, that's interesting. We've talked about, like, a year ago, we were talking about this bear market and how it was going to hit and it was going to be bad. And you were all for it and you're throwing money in then, but now like you're out, you're over it. Right. But you guys are still here. And I think part of that is the community, right? That people are sticking around. They're just like, I found this, like these friendships and this love of collecting that I hadn't found before. And that's what really sets Veve apart from so many of these other crypto projects is the community, the nostalgia. Like, and again, I've said that before, right? It's like Veve has created this, like that bleeding edge of technology combined, or merged with nostalgia. And it is an incredible winning recipe. And I'm so excited for it. So I'm continuing to stack OMI because I want my 10 million, but there's going to be other things that I'm going to want OMI for. Clarification. The last time Randy, I was talking to you and there was talking about, is OUP V2, is that done away with? And I had assumed that basically with this new iteration of this 10 million OMI and stuff, that was all erased, right? But I was talking to Puddin Cheeks, and that is not the case. He said a lot of the components of OUP V2 are still in play. And I was like, oh my gosh, that also means then potentially, right, that we might need $40,000 worth of OMI to get those collectibles and that airdrop and stuff. And so I'm just, anyways, like I'm still stacking OMI, but I appreciate everyone who listens in and, like listens to any one of our channels. It's awesome. It supports our growth and just appreciate you, fam. It's awesome.
Bye.
Awesome.
Meow, meow.
All right, you
Love you,
guys
man.
up. All right, see you guys. Take care. Bye.
See you, everyone.